The TIE Defender gets its biggest nerf since launch, are B-Wings finally viable, and is the Y-Wing just about on par with the TIE Bomber? That and so much more coming in today's video on EcksToo, discussing the 5.0 balance update changes to Star Wars Squadrons. So without wasting any more of your time guys, let's dive right into what those changes are and into the video. As of April 7th, Star Wars Squadrons has finally got its 5th balance update to the game, and 3 key starfighters are being rebalanced this week to provide a healthier meta to the high and top tiers of gameplay, with one of them actually focusing on the low to medium tier. So first up is the TIE Defender. According to the patch notes, it states, "We're making rapid power management a bit more costly without nerfing its stats too hard. Additionally, we're reducing some of the ammo it has available, allowing it to still function in its intended role, but while requiring additional support for longer engagements." So these changes are increased boost activation cost by 15%, decreased boost charge rate by 10%, concussion missile ammo count reduced from 6 to 4, ion missile count reduced from 6 to 4, cluster missile ammo count reduced from 5 to 3, and advanced power system cooldown increased by 20%. The TIE Defender had a pretty chonky nerf about 2 months ago. That ship put it in line with most of the other ships in the game. However, we saw a global balance update hit across 8 of the 10 ships available about a month ago. With that nerf hitting all of the ships bar the B-Wing and the TIE Defender, it actually made the TIE Defender strong again because it avoided that particular nerf. But it looks like this will definitely bring it down a peg or two, in line with the changes that were made across all the other ships previously. With the previous nerf of the TIE Defender, we saw advanced power systems be used as it was intended to. However, that has turned out to be one of the strongest arsenals the TIE Defender can run right now, and some may say it's just a little bit too strong for advanced power management. The cooldown to this component is at 20 seconds. With this nerf, it brings it up to 24. This will be quite noticeable for many TIE Defender players, because the strength of advanced power systems determines the difference between you dying or even you securing a kill. And there has been many instances where that advanced power system just barely got off cooldown that helped you to survive. With this nerf, you'll most likely miss that moment. The increased boost activation and the decreased boost charge rate is probably reflective to the nerfs that we saw across all the other ships last month. So it's nice to see the TIE Defender also being put in line with all the other ships. Ion missiles have been a real pain for most players when it's ran on TIE Defenders as well. X-Wings and U-Wings run fortified deflector most of the time, and it's even worse for Y-Wings because a lot of them run overloaded shields when AI farming. And the ion missile completely counters these shield options. Reducing the ammo count on TIE Defender's ion missiles will definitely require them to go and resupply more often, take them out of the frontline battle. This is a very similar approach that the developers did with the A-Wing when that ship was too strong. However, it's not an identical situation. The A-Wing relied a lot on its shields for survivability and staying in the front lines, so the developers drew back their firepower capacity and reduced the max shield total and reduced the regeneration rate. For the TIE Defender, we're stripping away some of the max ammo capacity. Because the developers tried to nerf the TIE Defender the way they did with the A-Wing, they can negate a lot of this with the advanced power system module. So personally, I think this is a really clever approach from the developers. It would have been very interesting to see if they could remove ion missile altogether on the TIE Defender, but that will be another topic on probably another video. Next up, we're moving to B-Wing. According to the patch notes, they state, "We're aiming to give the B-Wing better ability to reach combat around objectives faster, while still having a bit of boost in reserve if power is managed well." And the changes are increased boost max speed from 200 to 210, increased shields by 100, and decreased boost loss rate by 33.3%. These aren't necessarily massive buffs, but they will definitely go a long way, and here's why. B-Wings rely entirely on drifting to rotate their ship. It's a very different way of playing compared to playing any other ship in the game. Even the smallest movements do require drifting in some way, and with boost activation being as expensive as it is in the game to negate boost gasping, or even boost skipping for that matter, This will definitely help the B-Wing in both those two techniques, as well as being able to increase its maneuverability without buffing its maneuverability stats. The increased boost max speed is nice, but I don't think it's going to be very noticeable for mid-tier gamers. And whilst the increase of 100 shield is nice, it's not going to be that effective. Many people run Resonant Shields on B-Wing to get the most out of their primary weapon power. And with Resonant Shields costing 25% of max shields, it results in most players only getting 75% extra shield. So even with this buff, if you're running Resonant Shields, you're still going to have less shields than an A-Wing. So unfortunately, don't get too excited for this buff. And for the third and final ship, it's the Y-Wing. With the patch notes adding, like the B-Wing, the Y-Wing should now also be able to get in and out of combat a bit easier while not pushing it too close to the fighter class capabilities. And these changes are increased boost regeneration rate by 30% and decreased boost consumption rate by 43%. And personally to me, these are the biggest changes in these patch notes. Boost regeneration rate at 30% is already quite a lot, but decreasing the boost consumption rate by almost 50% on the Y-Wing is absolutely insane. Even for players who don't do a lot of boost skipping, these are going to be huge noticeable changes. For AI farmers, they really rely on their dogfighters to keep them alive. Just like support players, they're high priority picks. And on top of that, they're also very easy to kill thanks to their hitboxes, their speed, and their maneuverability. But with these changes, the Y-Wing can do a lot of its survivability on its own now. This allows AI farmers to get in deeper without taking that much of a risk, and they'll probably have more than enough boost to get out if they catch themselves in trouble. For the Empire, the TIE Bomber is actually a very strong ship. It can go toe-to-toe with many other players thanks to its rotary cannon being one of the highest DPSs in the game. That means they can joust and have the maneuverability to get out of there when they need to thanks to power shunting. The Y-Wing had neither of these. So with these changes, the Y-Wing can take a lot more risks the TIE Bomber could as well, but of course they just won't have the firepower to boot. But to summarize on these changes, in very EA motive fashion, these are relatively safe nerfs and buffs. This has worked out for the team in the past, because if there's one thing pro players know really well about this game, is squeezing out every drop of performance in every single ship possible. The way they managed to discover boost skipping and boost gasping is absolutely beyond me, and probably some of the developers as well. So any drastic changes could be really devastating for the game in the long term. So safe changes like these definitely make sense. Other issues like the drift keyboard bug, where you're unable to use the drift key when using the boost extension, and is only applicable to keyboard and mouse players, and the insane zero throttle boost bug, are things that pro players have found out of means that I have no idea how, but unfortunately developers are unable to work on anymore because they can only do server-side updates. So small changes like these are a good thing. That pretty much wraps up the 5th balance update changes coming to Star Wars Squadrons. What are your thoughts about it? Do you think the TIE Defender was nerfed a little bit too much? Do you think the B-Wing changes are not really anything at all? And do you think the Y-Wing was probably not buffed enough? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments down below. I'll read all of them and try to get back to some of you as well. But besides that, guys, I've been Charlie, you've been watching EcksToo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.